Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Thursday, January the 5th, 2023. Again, the market remains in an interesting position because I don't think I am or we are the only ones waiting for directional confirmation. So I'm going to begin here with the NASDAQ. And I'm just going to go directly to that hourly chart because nothing up to this point has changed because the market's not done anything except trade in a tight range and with larger moves intraday, but nothing with conviction in terms of, okay, wave two's over, wave three's going. So we're in the exact same position we've been in here in the NASDAQ since the 28th of December. So it's still a minor wave two. Now, where we are, we have not broken below that 10,758, I'm going to call it. And that's the low thus far that we need to break. So all of this is part of minor wave two. We kept getting hints. We've gotten hints. We get hints that, okay, sellers are strong and they're powerful. But I have to tell you, every time they do it, somebody ends up walking in and they get it started, and it just takes a while, but they buy it all back up. 2 hours, they take it down. Then they buy it all back up, and then they take it down. And then they buy it back up, et cetera, et cetera. So here we are, started Globex. Actually, Globex has been open for a little bit. The NASDAQ's up 30, the S&P's up 10.5. Now, what could be going on? First of all, tomorrow's expiration, options expiration. There's a lot of stuff that goes along with the options expiration because we have options on everything. We have options on treasuries, which will expire tomorrow. We have options on equities, which will expire tomorrow. We have options on gold, which will expire tomorrow. We have options on crude. We have options on silver. We have options on the bonds, everything. So it's a weekly expiration. And so there should be an increase in volatility. As we're seeing, they're starting to wrap things around. Apple was a little bit down. Tesla was down. Stocks turned lower. And even stocks that managed to basically stay up during the day ended up down or unchanged as we came into the close. Now, what could happen tomorrow? If we are still within a minor wave two, then we would be looking for a C wave. Because this is A, this is B, C. And if that's the case, then we got to put a B under it or something of that nature. If this is going to turn into, that's the X, A, B. Yeah, could be A, B, and now we still got a C wave to do within that second ABC. Again, ABC, ABC, X, A. Okay, to even figure it out. A, B, and then we just get something screwy there, and this is going to work into a C wave. Somehow it's got to work out to be an ABC. And it's ugly in between. But it has been. So it's not impulsive. And that's going to be the major message, right? But because when you keep changing your account, it's like not necessarily changing it. We are looking for an impulse move to pick up again in the way of a third wave of minor degree. If this is kicking it off, it's showing us it's got the guts to do it, but it should not come flying back and we get all this upside movement as we've been seeing since the 28th. It should be more persistent and continue to move in one direction, which it kind of is, but there it goes down, they buy it back. It goes down, we spend the time, 2 or 3 hours, we buy it back. And then they sell it, and then we buy it back. So, yes, I understand ebb and flow in the markets and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But here's the point we're at. As I've been discussing, and I stick with, I am looking at 10,758 as a point that if it begins to break, it should give us stronger confirmation that wherever I'm going to put it, minor wave 2 is done and minor wave 3 is underway. And that could be that I put that minor 2 here, and this is 1, and this is a 2, and this is 1, and we're going to get another 2, and we drop off the face. That's what that suggests. And I'm working off the hourly chart here. So when I look at this, I understand. People have kind of been commenting, it's like, are you going to move the 1? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? It's like, this has not been an easy count. And that because the market has not been very convincing on direction. And while I really look forward to the market dropping back into 5-wave patterns, I'm making life a little bit easier because here we have another 2, and it was mean, it was nasty. It was another where it was more than 1 ABC. So we did it again, but we're doing it down here. So these second waves of varying degrees have been pretty volatile, but also kind of very strange in finding what the motivation was to carry things higher. What the motivation was to run it up to here on the Fed, and then then killing it after. So that continues. But you can see when we drop a degree, it gets a whole lot smaller. And that is telling me that what lies here waiting is not going to be good. And I'm pretty much, you get a lot of agreement from everybody. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking it's going to go down. It's going to go down. It's like, okay, so why then is it just hanging out here? Well, there's an expiration tomorrow, whether this is happening. We got this going on. And I'll tell you what, folks, it's options related. This is a multi-trillion-dollar sector, class, or whatever we want to call it, options. And they're derivatives, and it's on everything. And they're big, and they're being traded by big firms. Remember, I keep talking about $6.1 trillion being out there looking for alpha. You want to talk the lingo? Looking for alpha, that's looking for money. Where can we park and make money on this money? So we're getting a lot of accumulation and distribution all at the same time. And stocks are like, wow, look at the volatility in Apple. Look at the volatility in Microsoft. Look at the volatility in Tesla. It's just been devastating. It's just been really hard. So things are going down. Things are correcting. Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, all correcting. What's holding up the NASDAQ? Same thing. It's options. It's positioning. It's how things are going right now. Now, do I think this is going to last forever? Absolutely not. I think that we're going to get our third wave. And so I believe that if we start to break 10,758 and we start heading below almost to 10,700, it should go very quickly because of the position that this thing has left itself in. Otherwise, we got a C wave, and that C wave should give us a little boost and get us back above 11,180. So these are going to be larger moves, but again, tomorrow's expiration, and they might just do it. Otherwise, the bigger move's going to start, and it's going to take it down. And I think that dropping it below 10,665 is definitely within the realm of possibilities. So I think we can get a big move. And I think if they don't do tomorrow, but they take it up and make it look like a C wave and get this thing to complete, right? Again, AB. I think I have to do ABC. This is strange. This is where it gets strange. C. And then this, I'm not sure. I'm going to call it A, B, and a C. So it's an A and a B, and we got to do a C wave up. That fits. It fits this little count. But if it fails, then this all goes here. The 2 goes here. 2, 1, 2 type situation. And that would spell strong downside. We're going to wait, let the market. Tomorrow morning, we have employment situation. So it used to be jobless claims and non-farm payrolls. Now they call it something else. But we got the jobless claims data today and the ADP employment report this morning. Both were rejected. Both were like, whoa, and the market dipped. So tomorrow's employment situation might be the nail that kind of just got to go crack and we drop. So, but on the other hand, if for any reason somebody somewhere has told, no, we like that number and it's A-okay, they hit the buy button. It could go up and it could go up just as fast. It can go back to 11,000 real quick. So that would just be up 150 points. So, or 100 points. So in any case, that's the NASDAQ. If we look at our moving averages, they are kind of lined up to go down. On the 4-hour chart, there's the hourly, there's the 50, actually the the hourly 200, the 55, the 21, the 8, and the 5. I switched to using just Fibonacci numbers. If I go back to the hourly, we're just looking at moving averages right now, same lineup, 200, 55, 21, 8, 5. They're kind of cruising because we're getting flat. The 200 downward slope, but still pretty flat. And every rally is being contained at the 200 since Tuesday. And in fact, that 200 is actually controlled even through last week. Spiked up, came down, spiked up, came down, spiked up, came way down. Holds below, holds below, holds below. They could try one swoop, they get it up there, they could break it, complete the move, and it would be similar to that. Go up, boom, ring the bell, drop. Let's go over to the S&P. Now, the S&P, it's the same story, except it's even more elongated. And here again, it hasn't even broken below its internal X wave, right? ABC, ABCX, AB, I'm going to call that C, ABCX, A, B, C wave up. And it only really needs to complete it. Still, we got that 3,900 in there. But now on the hourly chart, the 200 has come pretty far down. So there's been a lot of sell pressure, obviously within the S&P, because this is now not up here. It's kind of sunk and gone below. And they have managed to come up and go back, come up and go back, and come up and go back. But we're in that same situation. We're going to call it or it's going to run up in a C wave. And it's a little bit easier for the S&P to do because it's not come down as far. So again, we're still at 38.39, 38.40. Are we? Yeah. And it would just need to go up and break actually 3,900 would cap it off too. Structure is going to be more important in this particular case, but we're still looking for that top then in minor wave 2. They could do that tomorrow. Again, if they come in or they do it overnight so that by the time we get that number tomorrow, the employment situation number tomorrow, it's all done. And if they don't like it, we go, shoot, flying down. Because again, I'm going on the basis they didn't really like the ADP employment report and they didn't like the jobless claims. Now, yes, both were kind of shifted aside, but eventually the sellers were consistently there. Excuse me, until the end of the day. And then they bought it back up. Now, that's it for the S&P. We've got the moving averages lined up. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to go to the daily on this one. And we're just going to take a peek at where we are. On the daily, we're really kind of lining up. See what happened now at the end of this week? There's the 200, then we got the 55, then we got the 21, which has dropped below successfully and is now nicely below the 55. So the 21's below the 55. There's the 8 and there's the 4, and they're cresting and just running together, turning slightly lower. So in alignment on the daily to go down. Doesn't mean that it can't pop back up to 3,900 first. Got to tell you, just doesn't. I don't think if they did it tomorrow, or even if they did it overnight for some chance, that it really would put a wrinkle in the 21 or the 55. I don't think so. I think it would be fine. I think these would just turn flat. These would turn with it, and this would turn flat and then still go down. So we have to leave that that optional move in, that it could go up and it could do it overnight. They won't like the employment situation, and we start heading lower. But the next move, the downside move, that minor third wave, should start like that, but not stop. Do not do another one of these. We need to go and go because we're in the third of the third. This whole thing is an intermediate third wave, and it breaks down into 5 waves of minor degree, and we're getting ready to drop into minor wave 3. So we're dropping into minor wave 3 of intermediate wave 3. It should be the longest part of this, and it should also then subdivide into minute and possibly sub-minute waves. So it's a big portion of this current decline. And I mean, when I say big, I'm thinking it would not surprise me for the minor third wave to be 200, take us down to like 36, below 3650, below 3600, maybe as low as 3500. And then from here, that would be 300 points. And then we wouldn't do that in one day, I don't think, unless we really kind of decide to toss our cookies and finish it. So that's going to be it. I apologize for the little bit of lateness in getting this posted. Had a really great meeting with my first teacher, who also then became a really good friend. And his name is Dan Ascani, and we're going to be doing some things, hopefully, together. And so, but that's out there, yet to come. But it was a great conversation catching up with an old friend. So I apologize for that. Our next update will be on Friday. No, it won't be on Friday. It will be on Sunday, the 8th of January.